What's going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chucky, I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great day so far. Got a good one. This is boyfriend against girlfriend's dad. There is a protection order filed. This whole thing is just funny. It's a little weird, slightly interesting. You know what? I'm not going to spoil it. You're going to have to watch this one. Dad against boyfriend. Before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
I didn't see that you had been served, so obviously you have notice of the hearing today. Are you going to be ready to proceed today?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. All right, then what I will do, I'll give you a brief description of how the hearing will go this morning. First, I will swear the parties in, and then Mr. Brett, you will go first. You're the petitioner, and you'll explain to me why it is that you believe you're entitled to an anti-harassment order. I'll consider the petition that you have already filed, any exhibits that were filed with that, any witnesses that you may have, or any declarations that were filed. I don't think there were any. Okay, and then after I've heard from you, then it'll be Mr. Sansu, it'll be your turn. Same thing, you'll testify in response to the petition, and also I will consider if you have any witnesses or other declarations. Again, I don't think any were filed. After I've heard from each of you, then I'll make a decision as to whether or not an anti-harassment order will be granted. During the time the other party is telling me their side of things, I'm just going to ask that you please let them do that. Don't interrupt them, even if you think that you're hearing things that aren't true or inaccurate. Just keep in mind that I have already heard your side of the story, or in a couple minutes I will hear your side of the story, and you'll get to tell me your side. So let the other party tell their side. And then I may need to ask you questions just to clarify and make sure that I understand, what you're telling me, and that we keep things focused on facts and issues that are going to actually help me decide this case. All right, so with that in mind, can I ask Mr. Brett, Mr. Stansu to please raise your right hand? And do each of you swear that the testimony that you give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Brett, go ahead, sir.
Yes. So I am asking for this protection order because an issue happened where a witness who's here today, Brenda Botez, showed up at my door, and during that interaction, Benjamin Sanchu was on the phone. And whilst that was happening, Benjamin Sanchu stated that he wished to kill me and that he would put me in the ground. And knowing that he has my home address as well as my work address, I felt incredibly threatened by this statement and would like to be legally protected in case he decides to show up at my home or my work with any intent to harm me.
All right. Is there any particular reason that you believe that he would do that?
Because I believe that he may do that because his daughter was staying with me at that time, and it seemed to me that he was under the impression that I had taken her against her will, and I stated that she had chosen that, and have spoken with multiple police officers confirming that she is safe and here of her own will. But I am concerned that as a parent that they may not believe that and may still intend to cause me harm.
Is is the daughter an adult?
Yes, she's 18 years old.
All right. Is there anything else that you would like me to know, Mr. Brett?
No, sir. I believe that is all the information.
Okay. And do you have any witnesses or anybody else who you want me to hear from?
I do not.
Okay, very good. All right, then I'm going to hear from you, Mr. Stancio. Go ahead, sir.
Your Honor, there is just about everything you said is true, other than the fact that he's been threatened. I mean, we are concerned for our daughter. I mean, our daughter, the reason why we showed up at his porch, or I didn't, but Brenda Botez, the witness, did, was that our daughter 2 months ago wrote a suicide note based on this individual. And so we were a little concerned about her. We wanted to lay eyes on her. We actually called the police to meet us there. They never arrived in time. They asked us to leave, and we did. And so I have no ill will toward Brighton. I have no idea who he is. It's the first time I've ever seen him in person. It's the first time I ever heard his voice. And so I had no idea of his address until he laid it on this petition that he laid to me. My witness never even provided me with his address, nor did I have any intention of going out there to meet him or see him. We were just looking for our daughter. We were a little bit concerned about her. A couple officers did come by his house a couple hours later and called us and let us know that she is there and that she is there with her understanding and wanting to stay there. We told them that was fine. She's 18 years old. There's nothing more we can do. I mean, they're going to have to figure out the hard way the decisions they're making right now, and turning their back on their family is going to be the cause of a serious issues in their lives. So we're going to allow her to do that. I mean, there's nothing more we can do. We've attempted everything we possibly can to show our daughter and bring her home, and she's chosen a different path. So I have no ill will towards Brighton. I have no intention of ever seeing him. Hopefully he never comes back here. But I will say, Your Honor, he did show up at my home and removed items from my home with my daughter. I didn't appreciate that. The day before he filed this, he showed up here with my daughter to pick her up, I'm assuming, and started removing items from my home. But I do not know him from Adam as of from today. And so that's pretty much my testimony. And I wish him the best of life, but it is what it is at this moment.
Okay. And then is Brenda somebody who you had come in here to testify for you?
She was the one at his porch. She is
Okay.
Aubrey's mother.
Okay. Is it Brenda?
All right. Just judging from what Dad just said, yeah, I mean, he's the father. You know, I understand being protective of your little girl. That makes perfect sense. Why there's a protection order against him? That doesn't make any sense. At least from my standpoint, I don't know. Maybe because I have two girls. No idea. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what happens. Let's see what witness says.
Botez? Okay, can you turn on your microphone?
Oh, can you hear me? Sorry about that.
I can. All right, before you testify, let me have you raise your right hand, please. Do you swear the testimony that you give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, and Ms. Botez, what would you like me to know?
Yeah, I mean, agreed with Ben. He didn't make any threats, and I think in the heat of the moment, again, I was there. I showed up at Brighton's doorstep. I had her dad on speaker. We were concerned because Brighton took her away. Well, we came to find out Brighton he drove all the way to Kalama from Olympia to pick up Aubrey and then bring him back to his place of residence. So like Ben said, we wanted to lay eyes on her, make sure she was okay. She wouldn't come to the door. She wouldn't answer. So we were concerned for her safety. And I made the call to the police department to come out and just do a welfare check, which they eventually did later that evening. But again, we're parents. We were concerned. Ben lives again in Kalama. He works in Gresham, Oregon. You know, he's over 100 miles away. There's no risk of any type of issue happening.
Okay. And what's your relationship to Aubrey?
Yes, she's my daughter. She's my firstborn, only girl.
All right, understood. Okay. All right. So when you were, I just have a question about the circumstances of that gave rise to this. So you were on Mr. Brett's front doorstep, basically.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. And tell me how it is that Mr. Stanciu was able to communicate with Mr. Brett in those circumstances. How did that work, and how did it come about, and what was said?
When I approached the door, I had him on speakerphone on my cell phone, and so that was it. That was the only way they were communicating, if you would call it that.
Okay. Now, Mr. Brett said that, well, I'm going to go to that part of the petition here because I don't want to get it wrong. There we go. Okay, this is what Mr. Brett said that Benjamin said. He said, "You have no idea who you're dealing with. I will put you in the ground, followed by I will kill you." Did you hear words like that said?
Absolutely not, Your Honor. I did not ever hear those words come out of anyone's mouths. No, those words were never said.
Okay. So from your point of view, though, what was said?
Well, honestly, Your Honor, I was the one talking, and I couldn't really hear anything that Ben was saying on the speakerphone. It was like the back and forth conversation between me and this gentleman, and I was calling for my daughter. I honestly, I was calling him names because I said that he was a predator because, you know, he started dating my daughter at the age of 17. He's in his 20s. I thought, you know, so whatever he claims he heard, I don't understand because it was me mostly talking to Brett this entire time. I told him.
All right, so we learned a few new things. This guy was in his 20s, started dating their daughter when she was 17. That's not going to look good. Doesn't matter how you swing it. I don't care if you're in a state that 17, as long as you whatever. What is it? The Romeo and Juliet? Yeah, no, that's still creepy, man. That is still creepy. I don't care if it's only 4 or 5 years difference. Still creepy. But mom did mess up. She said he never said that, and then her very next statement was, "I didn't hear him because I was the one talking." Yeah, that kind of just hurt you there. I don't think the judge is going to fall for it. I don't believe boyfriend at all. He's using the court system to try to stop any of the parents, trying to stop them from getting in between him and his girlfriend. And his girlfriend might be on board with him. I don't know, but yeah, this just seems like a waste of the court's time. Boyfriend's sketchy, man, but he apparently knows what he's doing because this isn't a dumb move. If I get a protection order against Dad, then Dad can't come over and tell me how wrong I am. He can't get in between us. It's not a dumb move. I don't know how to word it. It's a good plan. It's dumb. Dude just needs to. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna let it play out. I'm rambling. I am sorry. I think I'm more emotional towards this one because I have daughters. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully you enjoyed it. There's still 4 or 5 minutes left of this. So yeah, hit that like button if you haven't. Until next time, bye.
What he was doing was wrong. I told him that he, how many children did he raise? That he had the audacity to come and take my own child away, and So, to be honest, I'm surprised Ben was brought into the picture at all.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, Mr. Stanciu, is there anything else?
No, not at all. It's sad that it's come to this. I feel bad that we're trying to use our court systems to be honest judge against us just to keep us away from our kid. It's a little hard to take for sure, but we'll kind of lay at your mercy to find out what's going to happen next.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right. Thank you both. Thank you all three. And I think I have what I need to decide this case. Now, obviously a situation like this is fraught with emotion. Parents are understandably concerned about their child, even when their child's 18 and technically an adult. That doesn't mean that they stop being concerned. You know, anybody who's a parent knows that. Sometimes, you know, in a heated moment, people will say things that they, you know, on calm reflection would never say and certainly wouldn't mean. But that's the reason we have hearings like this, is because when these cases are initiated, the court only hears one side of the story. Hearing like this, obviously the court gets to hear all sides of the story. Now, I made the decision I did in the case initially out of an abundance of caution. I think that was warranted, but you know, listening to all of you and what you have to say here, it sounds to me like one, I'm not really convinced by a preponderance of the evidence that there was any meaningful threat or true threat issued. And two, there was no course of conduct. In other words, in a harassment case, in order for anti-harassment order to be granted, there has to be a course of conduct directed at a specific person, and a course of conduct means something more than a single incident. And in my view, after listening to what you all have told me, this was a single incident and not a course of conduct. So based on the lack of proof of a course of conduct and my inability to find by a preponderance of the evidence that a significant or real threat was issued, I'm going to deny the petition for an anti-harassment order at this time. So things might be different if there were to be a course of conduct, but as of now, with the evidence in front of the court, I don't see one. So at this point, there can't be an anti-harassment order based on the record. All right. So that will.
All right. I know I said I was going to let it play out, but after thinking about what I said during the last pause, I just want to clarify one thing. It's not, I meant to say it's not a dumb plan from the boyfriend's perspective. From his perspective, he's getting the parents out of the way if he's granted this order. It's a dumb idea to do this, to turn your, you know, to essentially vilify yourself in the parents' eyes. They already don't like you, and then you chose to do this. And Dad was absolutely right. He's using the court system so he can't see his daughter. That's a terrible way to for the future. I mean, what do you? Yeah, all right. That's all I'm going to say. Again, my dad's side came out in this video. This is why I don't cover family court, because I tend to talk too much and get emotional and generally get pretty angry. All right, you guys are awesome. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
We'll conclude your hearing for today.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you for your time, Your Honor.
You're welcome.